There's one last piece of this that I wanted to make sure that I kind of put on the table for you to think about this evening, and that is that there are kind of more private recreational facilities and other non-city recreational facilities that are part of the mix of what you can do from a recreational standpoint in University Park. Some of you may or may not know that there is an adult open basketball league at the chapel, for example. You may or may not know that there's some access to the university's running track. If you're a runner or you just want to get out there and do some activity and those kinds of things. There's certainly some access to the non-athletic kinds of green space on the university campus. If you want to go and throw a frisbee or whatever else it is, you don't have to be a university student to do that. There are other churches that have some kinds of limited access to their play equipment and play facilities. And of course, just outside of University Park, you have Lock 3, you have the towpath trail. You have at this point right now, the Central YMCA that's nearby. So, as part of the recreational service that's available and the recreational facilities that are available easily to people that live in University Park or who may live there in the future, there's actually some other things that are in that mix that we're trying to kind of put on the table and say, okay, well, if we think there's a need for, is it already met someplace besides the city facility? We want that to be part of the discussion.
Oh yeah, this is one group here for conversation, this will be another group here, okay? I've asked Beth to give me a hand in capturing some of the information. The first question we're going to ask you to respond to is what parks or recreation facilities and programs would you really like to have in University Park that are not currently available? It's the question on this flip chart here. So I can move this flip chart over so that everybody can see it, I hope. Logistics here. Everybody see that? The first question we want you to talk about for 15 minutes. Anything that comes to your mind, be creative. This is a time for you to speak about what ideas and possibilities you would like to see in the form of your city officials as to what would make some sense for you. What I'd like to do is to just read off what you've all said and see if there are any last minute adds. This is the wish list. This is what would you like to see. This was that dream if you have anything you wanted, what would you like to see in the parks and recreation system, programs, etc. So I'm going to read them off. If any others pop for you as I go through this that you want to see added to the list, tell me and I'll add it right now so we get the benefit of everyone in the room. And then just after that, what I'm going to do is give you each of these, each one of you get 6 Chads. Little self-adhesive stickies. And what I'm going to ask you to do is to go, public officials don't get them, is to go up to that list, and you get 6 of them, and you get to vote on what you think is the most important. You can put all 6 dots on one item, you can put 1 dot on 6 different items, we don't care. It's up to you. It's a way of getting some feedback to the folks here as to what you think is most important, and where you think the attention ought to go. Okay, I'm going to read these off and see if there are any other last minute adds. And if I misquote somebody and it was your item, please correct me. So one was to create a community linkage from the University Park Alliance area from Thornton to Grant to the towpath. You get a linkage back that way. See that right there?
Yeah.
Getting some grills set up would be a nice way to operate. Picnic tables and chairs. And later on, something that said pavilions, that's on another sheet. Individual exercise program for kids and adults. Monkey bars. Have structured signs on how to use the facility, almost like a park horse trail, describing what you're supposed to do at each station. Let's see. Grace Park in particular to put a statue of Sojourner Truth instead of Perkins, and make it visible. Have resident discounts to Lot 3 programs that are downtown. Have a staff person, an attendant at Grace Park, so if someone wants to play horseshoes or have some kind of program, I think later on someone said basketball, you have to be somebody that can distribute the materials for the game. We had someone talk about a kaboom site. I'm not sure what that is, but I think it's big blocks for kids. Did I say that right, Vivian? Okay. More advertising is needed for the current parks, so folks know it's available. A shuffleboard was one example. So to make known what kinds of things are going on. Water sprinklers. Apparently, someplace in Niagara Falls it has this, where it's like a geyser, these random geysers that shoot up, and the kids get to sort of try to anticipate where the water's coming, so they can sidestep it and of course get caught and get wet. Walking, let me see, hang on a second. Okay. Walking, sort of a historical walk, having some kind of tour through the neighborhood so that there are markers and so forth, that it has a sort of a meaningful walk that you get into the history of the community or of the neighborhood.
I want to say something on that.
Please.
That neighborhood is one of the oldest neighborhoods in the city of Akron, and that is a good idea because there might be some big houses and Cyberlands lived there, the Firstones lived in that area.
Yeah.
So
Robinson Clay.
Well, you get a chance to vote on this in just a few minutes as soon as I get that, yeah. Okay, then we have, someone suggested a bike trail from Dave's Market, and I apologize, I don't know where Dave's Market is. Is that on Exchange Street?
Exchange Street.
across the street.
I have an awful sense of
Stone
Hey, this is my GPS system, I don't go there. Anyway, so having a bike trail, a maypole with parachutes, I thought that was interesting.
A what?
A maypole.
For May Day celebration.
You have the pole, the streamers that hang down, the kids like
Dance around it. It's an old tradition.
And I'm an old guy, so I remembered it.
I'm not so old and remember.
Using public space to draw for particular sports. And I didn't say this really well, but like beach volleyball, draw from outside the neighborhood into the neighborhood because there's certain sports or activities that this neighborhood becomes known for, so it becomes a magnet. Okay. Increasing league activity and more structured programs for folks to come to participate in. Consider mixed-use area, such as football and soccer is mixed use now. Maybe there may be some other opportunities for mixed-use facilities. University art. Now, I'm not sure if I got this one right, but going to an art studio on Grand Street. Did I say that good enough?
Yeah, just that the Myers School of Art displays our art.
Myers School of Art. That's right, Myers School of Art.
It's really nice.
That's one thing that the University of Akron has. It's a very well kept secret.
Another idea was painting the sidewalks. And several different ideas about that. One was Bigfoot trails, having footprints sort of to walk across. Hopscotch at the parks, having that put into the sidewalks. Having a roller skating rink was listed. Skateboard opportunities, putting some pipes in so the kids could do some skateboarding kinds of things. Not just having a skate park at the Rubber Bowl, but someplace more closely. There was an issue about transportation. It popped a couple of different questions, not just this one, as well as some of the concerns. But how to get transportation to and from some of these locations, and maybe a shuttle of some kind, so that there's a possibility of getting to the parks where the activities are. Second group had let's see, programs and facilities for seniors. That's come up more than once. Programs and facilities for multi-age levels, so targeting specific populations, apparently. Jewett Park specifically, there were some improvements that were requested. Basketball courts, and it's underlined, so I assume that has some emphasis. Benches, facilities, the shelter, it's open. Is that because you want it closed? Or
There's no shelter.
There's no shelter, okay.
Because I didn't want to try and spell.
Sorry?
She couldn't spell pavilion.
Okay, got it. It's with a P.
P-A-L.
P-B-L-N, it's texting, okay. I'm learning from my kids. Having a playground, spring and summer lunch, day camps, career camps, basketball leagues, community awareness events, shuffleboard, that's twice now,